Hi, I'm Ken Gutman, Superintendent of Walled Lake Schools. In keeping with our mission to be the best educational system in America, so all students demonstrate they are caring, responsible, and knowledgeable citizens, Walled Lake Schools is embarking upon a cultural initiative that will give our students exposure to and firsthand information about China, the Chinese culture, and the Chinese language. Nearly a year ago, Dr. Ledong Li, a professor at Oakland University, contacted us to gauge our interest in providing a new cultural opportunity for our students and for students in China. Dr. Li manages the Oakland University Summer Language Institute. Annually, the Oakland University Summer Language Institute sends teachers from Michigan to Guizhou, China to teach English to Chinese teachers who teach English to their students in China. Guizhou, China is located in south-central China. Conversations with Dr. Li continued, and we began to talk about the possibility of exploring a partnership with Walled Lake Schools. Last February, a delegation of administrators and staff from the city of Guizhou and the Qingzhen International School visited Walled Lake Schools and met with Chuck Morgan, Walled Lake Central High School principal, Chris Delgado, deputy superintendent, Lenore Hisco, Walled Lake Central teacher, and with me. Coincidentally and integral to this new partnership, Lenore Hisco, Walled Lake Central teacher, has traveled to China for over 8 summers to instruct the Chinese teachers through the 4-week Oakland University Summer Institute. Today, I will be talking with Mr. Morgan and Ms. Hisco, who will help me give an overview of the program and the opportunities this will present for our students and community as we explore the implementation of this new partnership with the Qingzhen International School. Welcome, Ms. Hisco.
Thank you, Mr. Gutman. I'm happy to be sharing some information about this program with our community.
I know you have been working with Dr. Ledong Li since 1997. Tell us about your experience with the Qingzhen International School in China.
In the summer of 2013, I spent 4 weeks at the Qingzhen International School with the OU Summer Language Institute. I was living at the school, so I was able to have some wonderful firsthand experiences at the school and interacted with staff and students. It's a boarding and commuting school of 5,000 students. My apartment was in the classroom building, so I had the opportunity to engage with the students on a regular basis.
So how would you describe the students?
My impression was that the students were very shy, but curious about me. They took every advantage to practice their English. They were focused on their studies and worked hard. And they're normal teenagers. They love to play basketball and badminton, text their friends and family, and hang out in their free time.
Thank you for mentioning the similarities of all teenagers. As I think we all know, we have more in common than we have differences. What are some of the things that are different, though, in their high school day?
As you said, Mr. Gutman, all teenagers have a lot in common, but there were some things that struck me as very different about their normal school day. Every morning, students were at school at 6:30, and their job was to mop the floors and the classrooms and common areas. They each had an assigned job, and they seemed to have fun working together. They went to classes in the morning, took a 2-hour break for lunch, and then attended classes until 5 p.m. After dinner break, they had group activities. One night a week, they'd watch a movie on a massive commons area where they have a big outdoor screen. One night they'd do drills, and the other nights they had study halls until 10 p.m. The students all seemed to know the routine and followed the rules very well. It really was quite amazing.
I can only imagine our students in that kind of time structure and environment. And it is different, but of course that really has a lot to do with the fact that it's a boarding school. Last spring, we and Qingzhen International School officials drafted a partnership proposal that included student exchanges, curriculum sharing, and other activities to promote our cooperation among and between our schools and countries. Discussions with Walled Lake administrators, the school board, staff, and students commenced. Discussions with Oakland County officials and, of course, Dr. Li continued. Since the Qingzhen School representatives had visited Walled Lake Schools and toured our high school and met staff and students, they invited Mr. Morgan and Ms. Hisco and me to visit Qingzhen School. They provided us with an all-expense-paid trip for us to visit their country, community, and school. So in June, Mr. Morgan, Ms. Hisco, and I visited the city of Guizhou and the Qingzhen International School. You've been to China several times, Ms. Hisco, but it was the first time for me, and that was one really long flight. How was the trip for you?
It's my 9th trip to China, and it's about a 20-hour flight, so it's a bit confining. You're able to watch TV, you sleep, you read.
And it was a whirlwind once we got there. Right? We arrived in Guiyang late on a Wednesday evening, and Thursday was a full day. Ms. Hisco, Thank you for giving some of the highlights of our itinerary in China.
Mr. Gutman, we started our trip with an excursion to the Wengosu waterfalls on Thursday morning, and then we met with a delegation from Qingzhen schools in the afternoon. We met with the Qingzhen delegation of government, financial, and educational representatives.
We finalized the details for the agreement and attended the show Colorful Guizhou that included some beautiful dancing and singing, celebrating their community and culture. I particularly enjoyed learning about their culture, and the food was truly outstanding. We visited Qingzhen International School in the morning, had an opportunity to interact with students and staff. We witnessed the students doing their morning exercises together, helping each other with various other responsibilities, and experienced the vastness of the school that was the size of a city.
I know, Mr. Gutman, the school is gigantic. They certainly have their routines and their rituals, and because of the sheer number of students and staff, everyone adheres to the daily timelines.
The signing of the initial agreement of educational cooperation was quite a ceremony at their school, with representatives from the city and the school in attendance. We then celebrated with a banquet that included so many different dishes, and not like our American Chinese dishes with the egg foo young and egg drop soup and fortune cookies. It was authentic, it was really enjoyable, and it was really spicy.
I've come to really enjoy the food and the diversity and textures of it. Of course, they're very health conscious and they eat a variety of seafoods daily.
You attended the Guiyang Symphony Orchestra Friday evening, and I went to the airport for my long return flight home. Ms. Hisco, from your perspective as a teacher, what do you think are the primary benefits of forging a partnership with the Qingzhen International School?
I believe our students will have an opportunity to interact with Chinese students, hopefully give our students opportunities to explore and learn about the Chinese culture and language.
Thank you, Ms. Hisco, for your leadership role in this new partnership.
I'm very excited about this partnership, and I'm so happy I could be a part of bringing this to fruition. I'm sure both Qingzhen and Walled Lake will benefit greatly from such a visionary and global program. Thank you, Mr. Gutman, for the opportunity and for making this opportunity available to our students.
Mr. Morgan, Walled Lake Central principal, also took that long trip across the ocean. Mr. Morgan, thank you so much for being here to share your experience in China and to talk about our new cooperative agreement.
Going to China is an experience I will never forget. The Chinese are hospitable, hardworking, and very generous people. I'm excited to be part of the foundation of this new relationship.
Our partnership is known as an Agreement of Education Cooperation. What does that mean for all three of our high schools, Central, Northern, and Western?
This agreement states that both schools, Qingzhen International School and the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, will make continuous efforts to build mutually beneficial educational cooperation and exchange programs. We look forward to supporting and developing academic programs that will enhance the current school curriculum in China and in our district.
Both schools will explore and develop cooperative programs including mutual visits of teachers, students, and administrators, and exchange programs for teachers and students. This will begin most likely with 10 to 20 students coming from Qingzhen to study at our high schools.
That's right. We'll begin the recruiting process for host families to host our Chinese students. The students from Qingzhen will stay for 1 or 2 years. We're still working on those details. The goal for these students is to earn a high school diploma and self-manage a process to enter a U.S. university. Dr. Lee will be providing resources to assist the Chinese students as well.
A partnership with Qingzhen International School already exists with Romeo Schools. Dr. Lee facilitated that partnership as well, and it has had a very successful beginning. We live in a global society, and our children will be doing business in a society without walls. They really already live in that world. This is an opportunity where we can facilitate understanding and cross-cultural relationships. Our Chinese students have been studying English for most of their educational career, and we hope to offer Chinese to our Walled Lake School students to be taught by a teacher from Qingzhen School. Mr. Morgan, after I left, you had some wonderful cultural experiences. Can you tell me about them?
Ms. Hisco and I flew to Beijing and visited Tiananmen Square, toured the Forbidden City, and experienced the Ming tombs. We climbed the Great Wall in the rain and visited the Summer Palace and went to the Temple of Heaven. We arrived home on Thursday, July 3rd, just in time to celebrate the 4th of July with our families. As I said before, it was an experience I'll never forget.
That sounds pretty amazing and also life-changing. I do believe the experience that we'll have and our Walled Lake students will have and the students from the Qingzhen International School will have will be just that, life-changing.
I could not agree more, Mr. Gutman.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan, for being an educational leader who believes in providing international and global experiences for our students and for breaking down walls and barriers and showing them how to build global relationships.
Thank you for being a visionary in launching this new cooperative partnership. I look forward to meeting our students from Qingzhen and for sharing the future opportunities with our students, staff, and community.
We at Walled Lake Schools look forward to welcoming our first contingent from Guizhou in the People's Republic of China in a partnership that will be rewarding for our students and theirs, as well as financially rewarding to our district. If you're interested in hosting a student, please email Ms. Lenore Hisco. There will be an informational meeting about this opportunity, and information will be on our district website. Thank you, Dr. Lee, Ms. Hisco, and Mr. Morgan for opening this new door for our students, our families, and our community.